All right, in this video, we're going to be talking about 12.8, and this will be our conclusion to chapter 12. And it's going to be talking about division with polynomials. All right, we'll start off relatively basic. So you'll be given equations like this. 18x to the fifth minus 6x to the fourth plus 9x divided by 3x. When you're dividing by a monomial, what you can do is basically divide each term and simplify each term. So I have 18x to the fifth divided by 3x minus 6x to the fourth divided by 3x plus 9x divided by 3x. Now I just simplify each expression. 18 divided by 3 is 6. If I'm dividing, I'm subtracting. So 5 minus 1 is 4. So I get x to the fourth minus 6 divided by 3 is 2. 4 minus 1 is 3. So that becomes x cubed plus 9 divided by 3 is 3. And then 1 minus 1 is 0. So my x's actually cancel each other out. And that's your final result. All right, so let's try another one. Let's try B. B is 5y fourth minus 6y cubed minus 8y divided by 2y. So I'll separate each one of those into three parts. So I get 5y to the fourth divided by 2y minus 6y cubed divided by 2y minus 8y divided by 2y. I cannot simplify 5 over 2, so it just stays 5 over 2. But y fourth divided by y, so I would subtract the exponents there, and it becomes y cubed. Minus 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. Minus 8 divided by 4 is, or 8 divided by 2 is 4. And then the y's would cancel. So that would be your result. And that's how the homework starts. And then it gets a little bit more complicated. So looking at number 2 here, we have 18x to the third plus 6x squared minus 10x minus 11 divided by 6x plus 4. So in this situation, I cannot divide them all individually, so we do this thing called long division. And what that looks like is the top part will go inside the house. And the bottom part will stay outside. And then it's a 4-step process. Step 1, divide. So I'm going to take 18x cubed and divide it by 6x. So again, that's 18x cubed divided by 6x. So 18 divided by 6 is 3. X cubed divided by x would be x squared. Notice I wrote the answer by lining it up with its like term. Step 2 is to multiply. So I'm going to take this 3x here, and I'm going to multiply it to each term. So 3x squared times 6x is 18x cubed, which is great because that's what I should have gotten. 3x squared times 4 is 12x squared. Step 3 is to subtract. So the way subtraction works is you basically just change all the signs of the interior. So this right here will become a minus, and this will become a minus. So 18x cubed minus 18x cubed is 0. You want that to cancel out. If it doesn't, you've done something wrong. And then 6x squared minus 12x squared gives me negative 6x squared. And then we just drop down and repeat. So I guess it's really just 3 steps. But I'm going to repeat the same process. So I'm going to go and I'm going to start by dividing. So I'll take now negative 6x squared. So I'll take this, divide it by 6x. So I see that negative 6 divided by 6 is negative 1. And x squared divided by x is x. So then I take that and I'm going to multiply it. So negative 1x times 6x is negative 6x squared. Negative 1 times 4 is negative 4x. And then when I subtract, I'm actually going to change their signs. So 6x squared, or negative 6x squared plus 6x squared cancels out. And negative 10x plus x gives me negative 6x. Drop down your negative 11 and then repeat. So then I'm going to take this negative 6 divided by the 6. And I see that negative 6 divided by 6 is negative 1. And the x's then would cancel. I would then take the negative 1 and also multiply. So negative 1 times 6 is negative 6x. Negative 1 times 4 is negative 4. When I subtract, I change the signs. So negative 6x plus 6x cancels, and negative 11 plus 4 gives me negative 7. This number here is called your remainder. And the way you write this out is you would just say, well, in this case, minus 7 divided by whatever you were dividing by. So in this case, 6x plus 4. All right. So this right here would be your answer. And then this little 1 here, technically you would not write. But there you go. So this is definitely a long process and probably the hardest part of this chapter. All right, but let's do a few more. Let's look at number 3. This one is 8x cubed minus 2x squared plus 21x plus 45 divided by 4x plus 5. So again, the first term, first polynomial will go inside the house. So 8x cubed minus 2x squared plus 21x plus 45. Then the second part would go on the outside, and you would start the process. So again, I would start off with 8x cubed divided by 4x. And I see that that would give me 2x squared. Then 2x squared times 4x is 8x cubed. 2x squared times 5 is positive 10x squared. Usually when I do this part of the process, if I get a positive, I won't write a sign so that when I subtract, I would change each sign of those so that 8x cubed minus 8x cubed cancels. And negative 2x squared minus 10x squared is negative 12x squared. Drop down the next term, which is plus 21x, and repeat. So then I now have 21x divided by 4x. No, not 21. Looking at the wrong number. Negative 12x squared divided by 4x. So negative 12 divided by 4 gives me negative 3. and then x squared divided by x gives me x. Then I would multiply, so negative 3x times 4x is negative 12x squared. Negative 3x times 5 is negative 15x. And then I would change their signs. So negative 12x squared plus 12x squared cancel. 21x plus 15x is 36x. And then drop down your 45. And then continue to repeat this process. So 36x divided by 4x. So 36 divided by 4 is 9. And the x's would cancel. 9 times 4x is 36x, and 9 times 5 is 45. We would then change their signs, and we happen to find out that they all cancel. When they all cancel, there's nothing left, and then that would be your answer. So there's no remainder that you have to worry about. All right, let's do one more to make sure you have plenty of examples to help you out on your homework. So on number 4 here, we have 7x cubed plus 4x minus 9 divided by x minus 2. Now, one thing I need you to note on this one that's slightly different than the rest, it's missing a square term. So when you write this out, 7x cubed, you must add in that missing term. So the way we do that is we just add 0x squared. I've not changed the value of this expression because 0 times x squared would still be 0, but you do need a placeholder for every term. And then I'll write out the rest of the results. All right, and now we're ready to start the process. So I get 7x cubed divided by x. So that would just give me 7x squared, but now I have a place to write it. 7x squared times x is 7x cubed. 7x squared times negative 2 is negative 14x squared. Then I would change their signs, so that would go away, and this would become 14x squared. Drop down your positive 4x and repeat. So now I get 14x squared divided by x. So that would give me plus 14x. Now repeat. 14x times x is 14x squared. 14x times negative 2 is negative 28x. And then change their signs. This would cancel, and this would be 32x. And then again, we just continue this process. So this is now, forgot to bring down the minus 9. But this would be 32x divided by x, which is 32. Then 32 times x is 32x. Then 32 times negative 2 is negative 64. Then we change their signs. This would cancel, and this would give me 53. Nope, 55. Yes, 55. Because that 9 would be 64. Yep. All right, so that's a remainder. So we'd write that as plus 55 because it's a positive this time over x minus 2. Okay. So that's pretty much every type of situation you would see on your homework. So hopefully that is plenty of information. But however, as you're going through them, come back to class with questions and I'll definitely help you out. Other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.